What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Guys, we on Reddit again with Ask an American, and I typed up this question that was about 2 years old, I guess, at least from this first post I'm looking at, is what do Americans think of Scandinavia? I don't know why I said OG. I even said OG, but it's of Scandinavia. What do Americans think of Scandinavia? Which I find interesting because since I've been discovering Scandinavia, also been watching the Viking show. Like I've been seeing, I'm like, this is a pretty interesting place. Not only interest, but a lot of history there. A whole lot of history. So, yeah, we're finna see what other people think. I like it. I like the little medieval time stuff that's around there. I love all three countries: Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. So, but before we jump into this, y'all make sure y'all follow me on social media. You know, I got a Patreon if you'd like to support your boy with different movie and TV show reactions. I also have a P.O. box if you want to send me something. I always got to give a shout out to my Patreons. I appreciate you guys. But let's read off some of these and let's see. Firstly, let's zoom in because y'all know my eyes be a little different these days. Okay, so of course, first things first. What do Americans think of Scandinavia? Hey, I'm from Norway. I've been in the U.S. I've been to the U.S. once, and it was really nice there. And I was wondering what Americans think of my country and the rest of Scandinavia. I also want to know if someone knows some Scandinavians, and if so, are they different from Americans, personality-wise? So, what are your thoughts, Scandinavia, and or Scandinavia people? Definitely, that's a good question. Definitely a good question. Interesting question. Let's see. I don't know if the comments are just connected to down here because it won't let me click. But we're going to see. I think we generally romanticize Scandinavia. I went to Norway a few years ago and it is gorgeous. I was so impressed by the landscape. It was very clean and ordered. I've had the conversation with maybe 5 Norwegians in Europe, and they all talk trash about the U.S., calling us dumb and a third world country. I'm guessing they don't represent everyone because people I met passing in Oslo were nice. Dang. And see, I do. It's crazy because I like just doing videos and I'm on the verge. I'm learning and stuff. You know, does America have some things that are bad? Yes. You know, I could be doing. There's times I do videos, you know, talking about gun control. There's times I do videos, you know, talking about the education system and stuff like that. You know, and of course I expect the comments related to that, you know, with guns, all those. But I'll be doing videos of other things and people still talking about those things, you know, off topic, because I get, you know, that's a serious, I guess for some people, those are, not saying it isn't a serious man, but some people that's like, that's almost like a trigger. You talk about America, that's like a trigger, triggers them. Oh my God, guns. Oh my God, this, that, all this stuff, you know. So don't get me wrong. It's a lot of things going on bad in the U.S., but it's definitely, I feel like it's just what the news portray a lot too, you know, because all in all, there are things that go on, and you pretty much got social media to tell you before the news nowadays. But most people that I've talked to, they like America, or they think it's a nice country, a beautiful country outside like politics and the controversy. So, you know, everybody is one of those to each your own type of things. But yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, it's some people are triggered. Deconversation. Oh, glad to hear that. I think some things get magnified on the internet. Yeah. Shows U.S. bashing is about the only thing U.S. bashing is about the only thing keeping the left alive in Northern Europe. The people who may bash the U.S. aren't really affiliated with specific policy in particular. If they have a common denominator, it would mostly just be ignorance. It's also most certain the only thing keeping any party politics alive, neither left nor something else. U.S. bashing isn't really something that political parties care about. This is true. Is there? So yeah, I think Denmark is there serious. Yeah, I think for sure, like a lot of politics because of Trump. When Trump was in office, I haven't seen nobody really, especially when it comes to Europe or Scandinavia. We're talking about Scandinavia most. I haven't seen nobody really just say anything bad about Biden. You know, I think it was just Trump because Trump was just being a jerk. So that's just one of those things like that. He was just being a jerk. But all in all, I think Norway beautiful. Everything beautiful. Most Americans, when bashed by Europeans, like to mention we contributed more troops to the Allied side than any other country during World War II. See, from my understanding, they said we got there late. Sorry, I thought we contributed more troops than the Soviets. We contributed more than any other Scandinavian country or mainland country. So now we talking about World War II. I think if you were to play a free association game with Americans about Scandinavia, we'll probably come up with Vikings and fjords. A lot of people on the left hold up the Scandinavian countries as model social democracies. I would say that we like you guys. See, that's what I'm thinking, because we got a lot of, and I didn't even know this, we got a lot of Scandinavian invention stores, companies, businesses in America that are big in America as well. So, but like you said, when it came to the Vikings, that's when I started, like, I know about Vikings. Like, I knew a little bit. I knew how they looked and all that, but never knew they came from Scandinavia. And I'm telling you, I've been watching the show Viking, and I like it. So I'm not sure how represented. I've been to Oslo. I'm not sure how representative it is of Norway as a whole, but I can tell you my impersonations of super clean, super expensive. I paid the equivalent of $12. Dang, for a bagel. People seem to be taller. I'm on the short side, so I felt tiny there. People were very direct and to the point. They don't seem to beat around the bush or anything. Overall, found it super interesting. Would love to visit again. If I had a bit more money, I want to see more of the natural aspects of it rather than the city next time. So see, this is from Connecticut. Shout out to Connecticut. But, seeing video, very clean. I can agree to that. The expense, that $12 for a bagel, that's a lot of money. That better be a very good bagel right there, because that's a lot of money. But overall, that's a good thing. Norway is kind of expensive. That's why we buy stuff in Sweden. Luckily, I live close. Oh, so they got it good. They live on the border. Yeah, you can come to us, but we can't come to you. I never known like how much it costs for somebody in Europe to come to the U.S. because I've seen prices. Y'all know I've seen prices I wouldn't say just ridiculous, because it's certain days. Because I seen a ticket to Oslo, at least a one-way ticket. It was like 200 something to go to Norway, so not too bad. I feel like Norwegians from the outside of Oslo usually say that Oslo is dirty, surprisingly enough. So that's interesting. I would say Oslo is clean to Americans, but dirty to people that live around. Probably because America is pretty dirty, depending on where you go. Like major cities like New York and stuff, you'll probably be like, oh my God, it's a lot of trash everywhere type of thing. I absolutely loved Norway and Sweden when I went. All of the areas I went were pretty efficient with good food, friendly people, and lots of stuff to see. I particularly enjoyed Bergen. Out of major cities, I would like to come back and spend more time. About the only downside was the expense. Dang, y'all make me. I'm finna have to get my money right for real now. I don't want to. I like eating on a budget, but if something real good, I gotta try it. I don't want it to cost me an arm and a leg, literally. Okay, this sounds like Americans generally hold Scandinavia in very high regard. Back in high school, we had an exchange student from Norway and another from Sweden. Both were very popular, easygoing, and funny. They were not much different from Americans. That's interesting. 50% of Americans, the northern countries are socialist. Other 50% of Americans, the northern countries are socialist. What? I guess that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, we can read this one. Last one. Chicago, Illinois to Germany. Out of the Nordic countries, I've only been to Finland so far, and I loved it. I loved it there. I hope I have the chance to visit other Nordic countries in the future. In general, I would say most Americans have a fairly positive opinion of Norway and Scandinavia in general, especially in the midst of where there's a large Scandinavia. What? Diaspora? I don't even know what that means. Though most of us outside of Scandinavia think lutefisk should be classified as a biohazard, people tend to also have a distorted perception of how life is in Scandinavia, since we get limited news from there, and perspectives ranges from Scandinavia, perfect progression paradise, to it's a socialist ultra progressive yeah, I'm not gonna read all that, but they got limited news. I heard, like, all the people I met. Okay, so people like it. People like Finland. Well, talking about Scandinavian, not the whole Nordic, but I don't know. I never met anybody from Scandinavia. At least where I live, we never had like foreign exchange students that were from Europe, other than maybe Germany. We might have had one person from Germany. That's about it when you talk about Europe. But other than that, yeah. So I think, like you said, we do have a Scandinavian population, which I found out when researching these videos and watching videos. I believe, like in Minnesota, all the states that are very cold for sure, and probably closer to Europe, at least on the map. At least if you look at a map and kind of you see those certain countries. But all in all, I like it. I love it. Definitely can't wait to visit. But other than that, y'all let me know, what do you think of America? If you were to get a flight to America, what state would you go to? I think that's important to know, the state that you would really want to visit here in America. Besides like the Californias and all those things. Cause most people, you want to go to Los Angeles and probably Vegas and stuff, like outside of like those major things. Where else would you like to go? But that's all I have for this video. As I mentioned, y'all make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, Twitter. If you'd like to send me something, I have a PO box, have a Patreon, and shout out to those Patreons that support. But that's all I have. Y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.